Alright, before I forget, I'm going to see what I can do with this particular point and then offer it in the auction. In the background, there's some heavy rain coming down, so I apologize if you can't hear very well. But I need to finish this up regardless of the rain. Okay, so I'm going to go kind of fast, I guess, to try to finish this. Using any old method, not specifically notching, but a lot of people prefer to see everything finished out. So what I'm going to do is finish this one out. I could just close out the video series and say that's it for notching, so that's it. But I'll finish this point on video and then offer it in the auction. I guess the rain is subsiding now, which is good. Alright, so I'm going to put another notch in here on the other side. Started with hand pressure. A lot of the things I'm going to be offering in this auction are just plain old blades with no notching, because I had to take it easy on the pressure flaking and the notching because of my wrist, but it's getting better. It's getting stronger. The good thing is, if you don't abuse yourself, you can actually develop more strength, right? That's the goal. More strength and endurance. As long as you don't overdo it, when you heal, you actually become stronger, which I hope will be the case. Although I did mess up my wrists earlier. To be fair, I did a lot of messing up of my wrists doing carpentry work back in the early 2000s. Alright. So I'm just going to proceed quickly. Hopefully. I'm not getting anything right now as far as the notching, the punching goes. Let me think about this a little bit better. Yeah, I feel it slipping. Oh, I'm not getting anything. Let me just try the hand pressure again. It's slipping off the platform. You can see, well, there's some metal marks there. They keep slipping. Alright, so this will be mainly pressure flaking then, since I can't. And maybe I'll finish off the rest, or the bottoms of these notches at the end, with some punch work, since it is getting pretty thick. Alright, so what do I talk about during this pressure flaking stuff? Let me see. I've been harvesting a bunch of arrow material and hanging out beside the river, beside the Connecticut River, just watching the ducks and the geese. The ducks down below, geese flying overhead. Today I saw a beaver cut down a branch or whatever of red osier and eat all the bark off of it. Now, what I didn't realize is that beavers will bite. He was chomping on a piece this large. I picked it up after he left, right? He kind of was forced to leave because I walked up on him. Anyway, it was about this thick, and when he bit, I figured it would be tapered on all sides when they cut these branches down. But what this one did, I don't know if they all do this, he cut a V on one side, and then on the opposite side cut another V lower down. So it split in the middle when he pulled on it. I watched the whole process. He swam up to the osier, bit on one side, then bit on the other side, opposite, a little bit lower, and then pulled on it and snapped it in the middle, where the bottoms of these indentations or these bites were taken out. It snapped across those two. Then he proceeded to chomp on the bark and eat it, and then cut the top off and cut a branch off of this piece of wood. I guess it was about 3 feet long. And he just spun it around and ate all the bark off of it. And then I walked up on him and grabbed it. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. I had never seen them do that. I mean, I've watched beavers before, but only briefly. And the one I was watching before, the only one that was doing anything interesting, was trying to cut down a big tree. And this was years ago. This is in 2001. So this is kind of a treat to see one recently, and to see how they cut down these little trees, or these osier branches, or suckers. It was kind of from a bunch, like a pod of a bunch of them that came out. The river is very high right now. Here goes the rain. The river is very high from all the rains and all the snow melt, so the beaver can swim right up to where all these osier are growing that would normally be up on the bank, high up on the bank. Anyway, that was cool. Kind of gives me an idea of how to harvest them in the future. Maybe I should just saw on opposite sides and break it in the middle like this, like the beaver did. It might be easy. I gotta try it out. All right. I got a stall, so I'm in the step fracture, so I'm pushing on the step fracture to dig out that stall. I had a step fracture on the inside of that, or the bottom of that notch, so I just pushed on the step fracture and dug it out. So now I can probably punch that. Let's see. The spatula tool, I can get in on this, on these step fractures. And pull them out. That last little bit is not cooperating, but I think I can punch out. I got enough surface that I can punch out another flake. All right. But you see how fast I did that with hand pressure compared to the narration and the punching. All right, let's see if I can do this without breaking it. I saw some chips fly. All righty, beautiful. Perfect. So now that's thin enough to proceed much further. I want to punch a flake out of the other side too. I think I'm going to make a bell point out of this. That rain is coming down really hard. All right. I'm going to curve this notch upward. All right. So it looks like a bell point, hopefully. Okay, here we go. I got some flakage. Yeah, flakage is a word. All right. Come on, you can release. These are only partially released flakes. You can see that one there partially released and that one there. I don't know why they did not release all the way. Yeah, they're pretty well stuck. This is kind of at an odd angle. It's bothering my wrist, but you don't need to know that. Let's see. See if I can pop those weird flakes out of there. All right, let's see. I don't know why they're not releasing. Maybe because I'm trying to hurry this up. It wants to slow me down. All right. Okay. I popped another flake out by hand with hand pressure, and that released them. Okay. Now hopefully that's not a bad sign. I don't see any strange fracturing going on. It's pretty well, it's starting to stall, but I don't want to break out the punch again. I don't want to push my luck, break off one of those barbs. So I'm going to try to deepen it just a little bit more with hand pressure. These bell points are probably done with hand pressure anyway. Because the notches are wide on the bell points in many cases. All right, let's see. Again with the unreleased flakes. Sometimes when the step fractures are bad enough, you can push off on them and clear them. All right. I don't know. I shouldn't push my luck. So I won't. I want to finish this out now. Thinning the blade and then calling it good. The stem and the barbs are okay. All right. Let's see. This next operation is going to be tense, so I'm going to take my jacket off. All right. If I can. Hold on, we'll be back in a minute. All right. Okay. Yeah. I didn't lose the point when I set it down. Sometimes I have a tendency to hide. I can't find them when I set them down. All right, here we go. Let's see. I say that a lot. Here we go. I've been napping pretty much all day, so if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing with the pressure flaking, it's because I've got napper's cramp, and that's my excuse. All right. Good thing these barbs aren't too long, huh? I probably pop one off doing this. It helps if you back it up on the pad. And it helps if you have a domed pad. What? Yeah. If you're just now tuning in, I always use a domed pad. D-O-M-E-D. Domed. Why? I break less points on the domed pad. That's always a good thing. It's a good indicator that you should be using it. Well, for me anyway. Maybe some of you guys don't like domed pads and break your stuff on the domed pad. That's fine. Don't use it. Let's see, I think many of these bells had concave stems, concave bases on the stems, right? I'm going by memory, so hopefully I probably should send up another flake in the middle there. I don't think these are ground, but it's going to be slightly ground, just because I want to strengthen it a little bit. All right. Some vertical flakage. Still stuck in there. Booger. All right. Okay, I'm going to set this edge up nice and regular so I can do a little bit of indirect percussion on it. Perfect, right? Beautiful. No, not perfect, not beautiful, but good enough. Let's see, what do we talk about? I can't be thinking too much about this pressure flaking. I want it to become second nature. Right? So I can at least relax a little bit during the pressure flaking process. So I'm going to be limiting my pressure flaking and not making too many notched blades. So what I am going to be pressure flaking here in the next few weeks is some Cody complex points. And comparing the pressure flaking to indirect percussion, and I'm going to see if I can do it all with indirect percussion. If it looks just like the pressure flaking, I'm going to try to do all the Cody points from now on with indirect percussion. That's one less point type I have to worry about when it comes to pressure and the pain in my wrist. There are other points where I'm going to have to do pressure, like the plane, like what is it? First view. That looks like obvious pressure flaking. Some of the Dalton types look like obvious pressure flaking. And I think there's a point in Texas called Eagle Lake that has what appears to be obvious pressure flaking. So those, if I want to replicate those, I'm going to have to use the pressure flaking with some tool or some method with pressure. So I'm going to save my wrist for those, and then once I get those accomplished on video, I'm not going to do any more of those. I don't prefer to make those. I have no interest in having any of those myself for my collection. I've sold most of my collection, so in the future I'm going to be just mainly focusing on complete items like complete arrows, complete knives, and that sort of thing in my collection, or have a collection of completed items instead of just points by themselves. Maybe I'll have a few hafted Cody points, a few hafted Dalton types with some pressure flaking and that sort of thing. We'll see. Alright, so this is heat treat. It can be very nice to flake, but it can also be very steppy. I can see already there's going to be some flakes that just refuse to detach. Maybe get out my X-Acto knife and pry those off. We'll see. I don't have my X-Acto knife with me at the moment, so it won't be on video. I might pop those out, just say, well, off camera I modified these so there's less steps on it. I modified this projectile point. Now, were bell points projectile points, or were they knives, or both, or were they some sort of special item for something special that we don't even know about? We will never know. There's probably evidence of impact fracture, as it seems like anything that can be thrown was thrown, regardless of its shape. There's examples of some of them being thrown at stuff because there's impact fractures. Although you probably can get an impact fracture from stabbing really, really fast. Come on. I know that's possible to pop that out of there. Okay. Sharpen that down to a very fine edge. Let's see if I can pop that out. Come on, before the 30 minutes is up. Let's pop that out of there. Okay. Yes, the top part is out or off. Now let's get this bottom part without hitting the tool on that barb and break the barb off. That would be nice. Come on. Do I need to sharpen that again? I don't know. Maybe I just need to hit from the stem. Come on, focus. Hit from the stem into that area and remove that. Because I'm going to put too many metal marks in that thing if I continue to pry it with the steel tool. Okay, next video.